Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
And
I am Bruce.
And I'm Chris, and I'm scared of monsters.
That's right. Can you fucking let me at least say my name before you talk over me?
We all know who's the most important here, so shut up.
Jesus, you narcissistic bastard. Anyway, today we've got Remember the Monsters, a band from Arizona, although Chris is not 100% sure of that. We're going to go ahead and get Sean Mott on the line. I believe he's going to be the bass player, and we'll see what he's got to say.
Awesome, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Sean.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you? Bruce Moore, my partner,
Hi.
Chris.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good. How are you today? You doing all right?
Pretty good. Pretty
Awesome.
good day.
Awesome. You guys are out in Arizona?
Yeah.
Awesome. If you don't mind, we'll go ahead and jump in, and we can, I don't know if you've listened to us before, but we're kind of not the straight up normal podcast, so we'll just see where we end up, if that works for you.
Sounds great.
So for those not familiar with Remember the Monsters, can you give us a 2-sentence boardroom pitch?
2-sentence. Okay, let's see. That I don't think I've ever been asked that question before.
See, we're starting right off the bat.
Yeah. Let's see. Dynamic and melodic with poppy overtones.
That works for me. Work for you, Chris?
That's a boardroom pitch. If I was in a boardroom right now, I would say, I like the way that sounds. Show me the video.
Would you write that on the whiteboard with your marker?
I mean, I probably would.
Oh, I definitely would. I was kind of asking Chris, would you jotted that down on your whiteboard?
Well, if I had a whiteboard.
I got one. Do you want to borrow it?
Nice.
I'm a recording engineer, man. I like, Pro Tools is my toy. That's what I do. I don't have a whiteboard.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Sean, go ahead, Chris.
Sean,
no, go ahead.
This is only the second interview we've done, I think. In how many episodes have we done, Bruce? About 60 now? Something like that?
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
about that.
This might be the second or third interview ever that we've only ever had with a bass player.
Interesting. Yeah. Usually they don't let me talk too much. I'm not going to lie, even though I definitely am the most interesting person. Sure. My lines just aren't.
Yeah, we've had Greg Chazon from Badlands. We've had who's the guy from Venom?
Oh, Cronus. That's right. But that was a whole band, so it wasn't necessarily. But yes, he was in the group.
Come on, he's the leader. And now we have Sean. So look at the company that you're joining in this podcast right now. Do you feel pretty good about that?
I would say privileged.
Beautiful. Only the third bass player to grace the airwaves with the Brutally Delicious podcast. That's perfect.
Love it.
I think maybe you could validate this rumor. Is it true that bass players get all the women?
I would say I've gotten my fair share.
Fair enough, without getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Well, hopefully your girlfriend or wife or significant other is not listening right now.
Luckily, I don't have one of those.
There you go.
Oh, God. See, Bruce and I are both hitched, so we can't talk like this. So we live vicariously through bass players, generally.
Right, through all the bass players. Right.
I just got out of like a 3-year relationship, so I'm just like, what? Yeah.
Well, at least you have good things to write about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, motivation. I like that. I was actually at the bar the other day, and we're like playing this like truth game where like you get cards and then like you say whatever the fuck it is. Am I allowed to cuss? I should probably.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so one of the questions was, what's the worst thing you've ever done in your relationship? And it gets to me, and I'm like, probably my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
This is good.
This is going to be a good conversation.
This is good podcasting 101 right here. If anyone's actually listening to our podcast, listening to this podcast, this is how you do it right here.
Yes, this is Sean. You got it. This is the gist of the whole thing. And so we're going to give our 1 or 2 listeners, Dale. I know you're out there. He's our one listener. If you want to give Dale a shout out,
don't forget about Bobby Jean.
Right.
Yeah, Bobby Jean and Dale.
Yeah.
Bobby Jean. So you talked about writing here, Sean. What's your writing process like as a band? You guys all write together? Is it more the effort to one particular member of the band?
Ashton does most of the writing, I would say, and then Julian and Ashton basically kind of do that. So I don't do too much of it. I mostly just get input about it, like, hey, this sounds nice. It'd be kind of cool if the chord progression went this way, things like that. But generally speaking, Ashton does most of the writing, I would say, probably 70 or 80%.
So along those same lines, are you guys writing all together in a room, banging things off each other, or are you using email to send stuff back and forth?
We mostly just do group. We have a group chat, and then we also just do phone conversations because Ashton doesn't live in the same state as I do, so we live in different states. So it's a little difficult on that.
Right.
So how do you keep a band together that doesn't live close together?
That is a good question, and I'm still trying to figure that one out. But it seems to be working pretty decently. Just imagine having a long distance relationship. Have you ever been in a long distance relationship before?
I have, and it didn't work out.
Okay, now imagine that times 5.
Oh my God!
Right.
Nobody cares sometimes. So you go long stints and be like, hey, it's been a week since I talked to my significant. Oh wait, there they are.
Yeah. I remember when I grew up in Canada. I now live in Virginia, but when I first moved, I moved from a small town and I moved over to Vancouver, British Columbia, and I decided that I'd keep my girlfriend back in the small town and I'd move to the city, and that would be just awesome. And then eventually I just became a cheating bastard. And then everything ended.
And then everything ended.
Yeah. So I often wonder, because a band is a lot like a marriage, you're working, you have to work at it to stay together. And when you're apart, everyone kind of grows in different directions. And when you come back together, how does that all fit together? And that's something I've always wondered about how bands deal with it, especially, like for instance, if you're Motley Crue, it doesn't matter where anyone lives, because at this point they're just
your Motley fucking Crue.
They're Motley exactly.
Right.
But for a band of your size, where you're just picking up momentum, you're kind of, young in your career in terms of success. Coming back together, how does that all work out from a personality standpoint? Do you find it
honestly usually pretty good? We all get along really well. We respect each other a bunch, and we just have a lot of things that we like talking about. We have similar sense of humor. I think that's that's important in basically any relationship, regardless on what it is. So I mean, as long as you can just say a couple dick jokes every once in a while, you're golden.
Right.
Okay, so I want your favorite dick joke.
Oh God. Wait, does yours count?
Oh,
yeah. Sean, I really like you.
Does mine count?
If Remember the Monsters doesn't pan out, there's a host opening on Brutally Delicious.
Yeah. I'm getting fired.
Cool. Perfect.
I'm getting fired.
I'll squeeze my way in.
Hey, there's another dick joke. Hey.
I'm kind of funny sometimes. You're also you're catching me on a good day. I'm on day 2 of 4 hours of sleep. So my filter is very, 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 very not there.
Okay, question. Why aren't you sleeping?
Definitely not a girl, that's for sure.
Bass players get all the women, Chris. Did you not catch that?
Well, that was the other night, but I had to wake up really early to go hiking today. So I just got back from my hike. So I'm in Tucson, so it's a giant desert. You're just mostly thinking cactus and stuff like that. But me and my friend, we went down towards Green Valley. That means jack shit to you probably, but it's all foggy out. So it was completely covered, and I felt like I was in New Zealand or something.
Oh,
I even saw a pack of wolves, which I've never seen a pack of wolves in my entire goddamn life.
Were you scared?
No, I mean, I definitely looked around for the biggest stick I could find because I'm well, if they attack me, I want to at least have something.
How close do you think you were to them?
I'd say 25 yards. Maybe?
Oh, that's too close for me.
Yeah, but they're running. They I just caught a glimpse of them. They ran up this cavern. Me and my friend were looking up like wolf stuff in Arizona, we're like, this is weird. Like they shouldn't have even been there. But we saw deer and stuff like that too. But I love wolves also, but they're also animals and they can rip you apart. And worst thing about getting killed by wolves is that they eat you from your asshole first, and they eat you while you're still alive. So if you're ever going to get killed by a predatory animal, make sure it's a feline cat. Like, just make sure it's a cat, because they will kill you first. They suffocate you, they break your neck, and then they eat you. But dogs, like...
right from the bunghole, they're getting eaten alive.
Yeah, they toss you salad, but they toss the whole thing. Same with bears.
Sean, I told you ahead of time. I gave you the disclaimer. This thing goes down the tubes really fast. So
I'm glad.
No, that's great. I mean, I didn't really think I was going to start talking about eating ass in that direction, or in general, really.
Wow.
Okay, let's bring it back to music here for a second. Okay. So now that we know you have a sense of humor, tell us about the song or the single or the video that you guys are promoting right now.
So the video that we just did last year would be Sync. The song that we just released recently is Close Encounters. So I think you're talking about Close Encounters then?
I don't know, because I was sent the video, which is
the one with like the water and the rain.
Yeah,
and stuff
Sync.
Like that. Okay, yeah. So Sync,
which is a killer video and an even better song.
So funny thing about that video, and like you have to pay real close attention, but you'll realize that there's just not a drummer, the whole time.
Spinal Tap. Okay.
So exactly. So what happened is our drummer got lost and like wasn't able to find the place, so we had to do the video without him. So we're waiting around in this random warehouse in the middle of nowhere. Like, yep, he'll be here any minute. 3 hours later, we should probably just record the video, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was definitely not stressful at all, like for sure.
What do we do about the no drummer?
Yeah, we're like, well, I guess we'll just shoot it and call it good.
So here's a question. How does someone get so lost with a GPS on the phone that they can't find the place where the band's shooting the video?
Well, that's the thing. His phone died and he couldn't find a charger, I guess.
Oh my God. This is typical drummer stories going on right now.
Yeah, usually they don't miss a beat, but sometimes they do.
This is the guy that tasked with keeping you guys in time.
Yeah, and he was very late, very, very late.
Nice,
like so late he didn't show up, but like
Well, he sounds like a great drummer on the record.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. He's not with us anymore. We parted ways with him. So we have a new drummer, but I'm still friends with him and we still hang out. But besides the point, he's not associated with the band anymore, but it's still a funny story in the sense that if you look really closely, there's the absence of the entire member of the band.
That's awesome. It's going to be like the new Black Crowes videos. It's just going to be Chris and Rich, and there's going to be no other band.
Like we don't need more. Do we need 5 members?
Yeah.
No, just 2's fine.
Just 2's fine. Where's all that other sound coming from?
What do you guys have planned? What do you guys have planned in support of the record? Are you touring at all?
We are not right now. We're planning on trying to get something together. It's just trying to get all the parts to move correctly and in the same direction is very difficult with the distance. But it's like, do either of you play video games? You have like a PS4 or something like that?
Yeah. Do, but I do not.
Okay, well, like anything, like like when you're looking at this loading screen and it moves like very slowly, and you're like, okay, like it's moving, and then it goes all the way, but then another loading screen comes, and you're like, well, fuck me, and this one's moving even slower, and you're like, well, it's just like one more, right? It's just, and then another loading screen comes. It's kind of like that sometimes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, then, are you writing new music together, or? You guys?
Yeah. So I think right now Ashton's in the middle of putting together a new song. I don't know exactly how far he is into it because I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but I know last time I talked to him, he was like, "Hey, we're like getting ready to start like thinking about getting this new song recorded." And I know that he like sent me something over, and I listened to it a while ago. Or I think when we were driving to LA, I was listening to it because it's been a little bit since I've heard it.
Gotcha.
Cool. So how do you guys go about recording then if you don't live in the same area?
Generally speaking, what we'll do is like we have the producer that we've been using is Matt Good. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's based out of Phoenix. So usually what happens is when we decide that we're going to like, start recording it, we'll like whatever members will send what they have over to him. And then we'll like get all together and then we'll go and like kind of like sit down during the mixing and mastering process and like kind of like workshop it and stuff like that. But most of it's done through like emails or like, Google Drops and stuff like that.
So you're just, everyone's just recording at home basically and sending the files over.
More or less. Yeah.
That's, that's the amazing part about technology right now. Because when you hear the song sync, it sounds just massive. It sounds like a super slick production, but it was done at home,
Yeah. Well, it was done at home until it was like mastered in the actual studio, but yes.
Yeah, but you can't master something to make it sound good. The recording actually has to be, the recording and the mix has to be solid. Mastering won't change anything really.
Right. I think there's a saying for it, right? You can't polish a turd.
Yeah. When I taught audio engineering, I always used to say, if your recording fucking sucks, your mix is going to fucking suck and your master is going to suck and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
So it's really quite amazing what people can do these days with technology.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. My cousin's a music producer as well in LA. And he was back home in like Nashville and I was there like for Christmas and stuff like that. And he brought like all of his stuff. He brought like all of his mics and everything because his like two members of like his like little project are there. So he like brought like a whole giant suitcase of like everything and like this like $6,000 microphone. I'm just like, that's
nice.
Crazy. I don't remember what kind it is at all because I have a shit memory for that type of stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I don't really nerd out on gear as much as I probably should. At least not recording gear.
Yeah, I nerd out on recording gear all the time. And I'll tell you, I recently purchased this IK Multimedia Axe.io, it's called. It's like a sound interface. Mm-hmm. And I have some really high-end DIs. I have some like high-end instruments and mics. And I actually took my Jensen DI and put it in the closet. I only use this interface now. It's that good. I couldn't believe it. It cost me like $300.
He was saying something similar to that. Like he had the $6,000 microphone, and he had this other one that was like $500 or something. He's like, I use this one more, like almost 100% more. Like 80% of the time, I'm using this one. It just works better. It's like some really common one. I don't remember the name of it, but it just goes to show sometimes it's not the amount of money you put in towards something. It's the quality of like the product and the research that you've done to get to that product.
Absolutely. Well, this conversation is getting way too serious, Bruce.
Oh yeah. So Chris, if you don't have anything else serious about, well, let's do this. Sean, is there anything else we need to know we didn't cover about Remember the Monsters before I take it down a dark path again?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so off the top of my head.
Should we know what the website is?
I mean, it's rememberthemonsters .net if I remember correctly. And then we have Facebook.net. Yeah, we don't have .com anymore. That's actually kind of a funny story. Our old singer hijacked the website, and now when you type it in, I don't know if it does it anymore, but now when you type it in, it just goes to the Wikipedia page for roast beef.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So he tried to blackmail us and try to like get us to pay him like thousands of dollars to get it back. And we're like, we're just going to use net.
Right. Pay me millions of dollars.
Yeah. It's like, good luck with that one, buddy.
I'm checking this right now. .com. see.
Yeah.
Roast
And I'm
beef.
sure-
It does it still? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It still
I'm
does
sure
it.
everybody watching this is going to be doing or listening to this is going to be doing that right now as
Oh
well.
my god!
Like,
You
does
know
it really work?
that's
Right to it. Right to
that's
roast beef, which I mean, like, I don't know.
that's such bullshit. But at the same time, that's an epic story.
It's kind of funny. It's definitely a little bit on the hilarious side. Let's see. And then, we're on like Facebook, Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, pretty much all that stuff.
I'm looking, Remember the Monsters band, in case anybody's looking for it.
Yeah, I just went to rememberthemonsters.net and I got the website.
Okay, and I got Remember the Monsters band, so that's the Facebook app. Spot as well.
Okay, perfect.
Sean, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
So, Sean, if you haven't listened to this show before, we do this thing called the Furious Five. It's 5 ridiculous questions, have nothing to do with anything that we've been talking about, and we just go from there. If you're game, we'll start with something easy, and then we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, okay, let's see what they are.
The brutally delicious, Furious 5.
All right. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Why or why not?
God damn it! It is a sandwich because it's between two pieces of.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just gonna insert a dick joke here.
You're gonna insert
That
your
question.
sausage into a bun or what?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I'm just gonna put my salami right there. Yeah, I want to go with yes. I have no supporting facts though.
So
Okay.
we just talked. Go ahead, Chris. You can tell the story.
Okay, we just talked to a guy about an hour ago, and he had the most insanely correct answer that I've ever heard. And his theory is that if the bun is still joined together, it's not a sandwich. But as soon as the bun becomes unjoined, it becomes a sandwich.
I would agree.
That's very interesting and very deep as well.
It was a very
Wait, are
analytical
we still talking about dick
conversation.
jokes?
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Is cereal a soup? Why or why not?
Yeah, because it's a liquid with stuff in it. It's a cold soup. Yeah, it's a cold soup. Yeah,
Okay.
that
That
makes
works.
sense. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if you had fingers as fat as hot dogs, name an activity you might have trouble doing.
Probably sewing, even though I suck at that anyways.
Hey, that's one of the top answers on the board. That's
Sewing?
Really?
beautiful. Yeah.
Huh.
Beautiful. Name something that is always happening on a soap opera.
Me not watching it.
Beautiful.
Like sands through the hourglass, no one is watching this fucking show.
Name something you pick.
A guitar.
Oh,
Yeah, you took the high road there. I
high
give you credit.
road.
Chris
Yeah.
was already down the low road, but you took the high road.
I'm looking at my guitar right now. Like it's in my grip. I'm just like, yeah, I picked that.
All right. And lastly, name something you eat.
Wait.
Something.
Wait,
Go.
I thought you were going to say women when I'm on stage.
Oh, yeah, because he's a bass player.
Yeah.
See what you did there?
No, I
Right.
don't. I don't get to pick them. They all come. There's no picking.
Beautiful. And that's because you're the bass
There's a
player.
filter. That's what
Right.
that is.
Nice.
God,
Name
I sound like a
something you.
douchebag.
We all do, so don't worry about it. And nobody listens anyway, so it's all good.
I'm going to listen to this later. It's going to be great.
Name something you eat that comes on a stick.
That comes on a stick. Skewers?
Sure, I'll take that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I would have went with corn dog, but you know.
I don't eat corn dogs, actually.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
can we
I know, I'm
continue,
down.
Bruce? Can we continue this conversation?
I don't know. We
Probably
might have to stop now. Hey, so, is it like a vegetarian sort of thing or a vegan sort of thing?
No. I just eat decently healthy.
Okay, but you could eat like
I'm-
a Impossible corn dog on a steak.
No, I wouldn't eat that either because I don't know what's in there.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't even know where to go with this, Sean. Well, you know what? I'm going to bring something else up real quick, Sean. You got 2 seconds more?
Yeah, no, plenty of time.
Ask Chris to explain urethral sounding to you.
Oh God.
Chris, can you explain urethral sounding to me, please?
Okay, so we learned this from Ryan from Allegiant. I don't know if you know.
Riley McShane from Allegiant.
Yeah. Do you know Allegiant?
I don't, but I have a feeling I want to look this up later.
They are a really unbelievable heavy metal band. Like when the only time I've seen them play, people were literally ripping tiles out of the roof because they were body surfing so hard. They destroyed the place.
It's great.
Yeah, it was so
that sounds
cool.
amazing.
It was. So we interviewed him, and he probably, besides this interview, might be.
I think you're right. This is going to be the closest one to it.
Yeah. He was like right down the drain right away. And he brings up urethral sounding. And we're like, what the fuck is urethral sounding? So I can't remember.
Don't Google it on your work computer, whatever you do.
Yeah, don't.
Got it.
So apparently there's people out there that love shoving things up their pee hole.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, I think there's a couple things wrong with that. I'm going to take a stand on that. You should get help.
I didn't know that.
I don't know how you pull that out.
I didn't even know that existed, and then all of a sudden we had like a 20-minute conversation about it, and it was. I don't even know how we got there. To this day, it ranks up as one of my favorite episodes. But you've taken it pretty close here on the second. On the second, for sure.
Oh God, Bruce, why did you bring that up?
Because I had to bring it up this season. This is season 2, and we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah,
and
but
Sean
it was
seemed
a
like
regular
wanted to
theme
know.
on season 1. I thought we were going to start new. Are we going to start arguing about Celsius and Fahrenheit again? Like,
But Sean seemed like he wanted to know. He was sending me a message.
okay.
Yeah, we've been texting this whole time talking shit about you.
Yeah,
Right.
most likely. This guy, check this out. This fucking guy, Bruce, he goes on a fucking heavy metal cruise last week that I got him on. And then the whole time he's sending me pictures of him with artists sending me the fuck you with the middle finger.
That's my go-to thing whenever I'm in like any like friend like photo or anything like that. I'm literally just flicking the camera off every fucking
Yep.
time.
That's it.
They're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Cause fuck you. That's why." And literally, it's
Exactly.
right there. That's what it means. Do I need to spell it out for you?
Okay. So before we end this, we would love to have you back on sometime because you're a great interview. But if you ever
anytime.
come back on, there's one standard that has yet to be beaten on this show, and that's from season 1. And I'm going to put this out there because the singer from this frickin' band, who Bruce was on the cruise with, they sent me the finger. He answered the phone while he was taking a shit, and it was on video.
We had the video up. He's like, "Hey, 1 second."
So
Wow.
if you come back, there's a bar that has to be lowered. It doesn't have to be raised. It has to be lowered. I'm just joking. I really appreciate the time that you spent with us today, and good luck with the band. If you ever come tour through the DC area, please let us know. I'd love to check you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. That'd be great. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been a joy.
Good. I hope it wasn't too bad. I'll send you a link and Sean a link when it's up.
Okay, perfect. You guys have a
be
good
well,
one.
my friend. Thanks. We'll see you.
Cheers. Oh my God.
I love when they're good ones.